From the banks of the Mississippi to the peaks of the Smokies, this is the home field of champions.
Andre Callaway to Stanley Morgan.
And Goff holds it down. Nobody can catch him. Reggie White penetrated.
Touchdown, Heath Dillon. James Stewart.
Manning on the naked handoff.
Peerless Price.
Travis Henry scores for Tennessee.
More than 75 years of broadcast excellence. We are the Vol Network. We're Big Orange fans. Get ready for game day. Your guy, the voice of the Vols, Mike Keith. Delivered by Uber Eats.
Welcome to the Mike Keith Show, delivered by Uber Eats. I'm the host of your show, Mike Keith, along with Andy Brock. Welcome back, Andy.
It's good to be here.
And Sarah Detweiler. Hello,
Hey, Mike.
Sarah. How are you?
So good.
By the way, who's on the Everything Orange podcast this week?
We have Josh Elander.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was awesome. Just spoke with him. So, yeah, he's great. And it was just, he's so humble, you know? So getting to hear about him and his family and what this whole thing has meant to him was really special.
That was good.
Yeah.
Are you saying he was better on the Everything Orange podcast than he was on last week's Mike Keith
Oh,
show?
my
Uh-oh.
goodness.
Is that what you're intimating?
That's what I think I heard.
No.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, sounded a little bit like that.
No.
Was that what she was saying off the air?
Yes.
I can't win.
865-657-1278 for your text questions. Later in this hour of the Mike Keith Show, it's Leanne Morgan sitting right here, coming right in here. Talk to me, big star. Got the Netflix special out this week, Unspeakable Things. If you haven't watched the Leanne series that she does, the sitcom, if you will, on Netflix, you should. It's outstanding. It's already been renewed for season 2. She just finished touring 150 shows. She's amazing. Andy Brock knows her daughter.
I know their family.
You know the whole family?
Absolutely.
Like invited for Thanksgiving? Know the whole family or just
They
know?
haven't invited me yet, but I will come if they ask.
Time for the Firehouse Subs hot takes. I got to pull up the reader here. So we'll cut to a shot of Andy Brock. Firehouse, enjoy hot subs all across Big Orange Country. This season, when the Vols convert a fourth down on offense or the defense has a fourth down stop, you get a free medium sub with the purchase of a medium sub Sunday through Tuesday after the game. That includes the fan favorite Thanksgiving sub, which is back for a limited time only. It's the fourth down for Firehouse Subs. Pull up the deal in the Firehouse Subs app or online at participating Tennessee Firehouse Subs restaurants. See offer details in the app. All right. She says she has a hot take. Sarah Detweiler, fire away.
November 1st is not too early to start celebrating Christmas.
Oh,
Wow.
There, I said it.
wow.
That is hot take.
So you've already decorated for Christmas?
So, no, because my stuff is in storage at home. My parents are coming into town this week, though, and they're bringing it. So it will be by the end of this weekend. The tree will be up. I've already started listening to Christmas music. I have the Hallmark Channel running at home when I'm cooking dinner. Why not choose joy? Like, you know, you don't have to wait until December 1st or after Thanksgiving. So,
Wow, I was not expecting that.
do you have an opinion?
She said she had a fiery hot take. And I was thinking about maybe it was something about officiating or coaching around the conference or, play calls or something. Nope, it's about Christmas. Andy Brock, can you top that with a hot take? I don't think you can.
I don't know if I can. Mine's not holiday related. I do think Thanksgiving deserves its own time. But my hot take, Troy Henderson becomes the fan favorite this year.
Really?
For basketball, yep. I think he's the guy that people will gravitate to in terms of, again, you don't know how many minutes we're going to see him in SEC play, but the shot is just so fun.
Troy Henderson, freshman, Richmond, VA. Vols took him late. Thought process is good young player will develop probably a red shirt. And then you see him during the summer, and he can really shoot. Really shoot. Fun to watch. I don't know. I don't know where he fits in. I don't know that I think he's the fan favorite. more of a fan favorite than Nate Amen is going to be, more of a fan favorite than Cade Phillips is, more of a fan favorite that if he keeps playing the way he did last Monday night, Bishop Boswell will become. People love the hustle guy. Let's face it, Andy.
I could say that, yes, Bishop Boswell has that chance to be the next Jemai Meshack type role. Scrappy, energy, fun. I can see that. Is that a hot take?
Sort of.
Yeah.
Sarah, who do you think the fan favorite's going to be in basketball?
Well, kind of going off of that, I feel like we've seen this story develop before, you know, someone that didn't get as much hype coming into the freshman season, you know, all the things, and then develops into being a fan favorite, Zakai Ziegler. So I don't know. Does he have that in him?
Just Troy?
Yeah, potentially.
Well, Zakai is such a different personality. I mean, that's what was so magnetic about him is he just wasn't afraid of anything. He's small and he's not afraid of anything and he plays so hard. I mean, if you were a Tennessee fan, you could not love Zakai Ziegler, especially the whole New York City thing. And he's here, and our basketball program has a great history of players out of New York City. A lot of people don't know that, but we have a long track back into the 50s, as a matter of fact, with players from New York City. So that was just a thing. I don't know that I see anybody who has that magnetic sort of personality in that way because he's just incredibly special. I think it could be Jacoby Gillespie too because he may tear it up. And he's a local guy, Greenville, and I think we'll see him get better. But the good news is we get to see all of that this year. And the Vols back in action Saturday at Food City Center against Northern Kentucky, the Norse, where George Clooney went to school.
Really?
Most famous alumni there, the Norse.
Didn't know that.
They won 126-69 over UC Claremont in their season opener.
Division II?
I don't know. I had never heard of UC Claremont.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah. All right. Text questions. Let's jump right in. 865-657-1278.
Okay, this is from Tim from Memphis.
Hi,
He
Tim.
asks, what do we have left to play for this football season?
Oh,
in
Tim
November?
getting right to it.
Right
huh?
to it.
What do we have left to play for? Okay, Tim, I get where you're coming from. You're down because the Vols are 6-3, and it looks like the playoffs, the CFP, is a long shot. Got it. All Vol fans are disappointed with that because Tennessee wants to go to the CFP every single year. Totally get. Everybody up here, Josh Heupel, all the coaches, Danny White, everybody who works here feels the same way. So I get where you're coming from. I'm going to answer the question, though, very literally. So I'm not going to get philosophical into what you're saying. I don't think the season's over for these reasons. First of all, you're not automatically out of the CFP right now, and you keep playing until you're out. You know, you keep that thought in the back of your mind. We could go to the postseason, but I mean, lots of people could collapse. Many things could happen. You never put it away. But let's take it game by game. You don't want to lose to New Mexico State if you're Tennessee. You go into Florida. It's Florida. Beating Florida if you're Tennessee is always good. And what an opportunity to win at the Swamp. Probably, I shouldn't say probably, Brent Hubbs is trying to convince me that it's going to be a night game because of the other schedule. But could very well be a night game at the Swamp. Great experience for this football team to go play at one of the toughest places in the conference. No matter what Florida has or no matter what they're doing, go down there and get a win is a super thing for the Tennessee program. Great opportunity for the young players to win in a hostile, incredibly loud environment where you have notoriously had troubles. That would be in the positive check mark, no question. Finally, Vanderbilt, if they don't stub their toe, they're going to play in Knoxville what is arguably the biggest game in program history. Think about that for a second. If Vanderbilt's 9-2, there's a very good chance that they're going to come to Knoxville to play the biggest game they have ever played in football. You can make that argument. It's going to be huge for them. Thus, what an opportunity for Tennessee. If you win all 3 of those games, you give yourself whatever chance you have left at the CFP. And if that doesn't work out, you go to the best bowl possible, which is good for everybody because everybody wants to be there. They want to play. They're excited about the opportunity. It's good for the fans. So that's positive. You also give yourself an opportunity for double-digit wins for the 3rd time in 4 years, which is obviously a very good thing. And finally, the part of it when you say, what do we have left to play for? I think the other question that comes out now in college football, which is different than 5 years ago because of the transfer portal and NIL and revenue sharing, it becomes for the majority of players, especially those on teams not chasing a championship, what do I have to play for? Because everything you do the rest of the way, especially when you're not in a championship race, is evaluated about players. You're evaluated in meetings, you're evaluated in practice, you're evaluated certainly in what you do in the games. Have you improved? Are you improving? Do you show potential? Do you make plays? Do you play with the same intensity? It's just like, and it is exactly like now, players who play for NFL teams in the final weeks of the season when they have been eliminated from the playoffs. The evaluation of those players and how they go about their business and everything they do is absolutely massive because it reveals something about who they are and what they are. That's not just at Tennessee over their final 3 games. It's probably, 85 to 90, 95 to 100 college football programs right now. And I'll give you a great example of why this matters and what it can mean. Joey Aguilar. Joey Aguilar did not have a great year last year at Appalachian State. He was not on a very good team. He took a lot of hits. He threw some picks. He gets to the end of the season. He finds out that he has a 6th year. He decides not to stay at App and play for Dow Loggins. And he is very pursued in the transfer portal because everybody saw how hard he was still playing, how he conducted himself, the talent that he had, the leadership that he showed, and just the overall fact that he was a really great teammate. So UCLA takes him. He goes there, and in the spring, he wins the job. And obviously, the situation occurs with Nico Iamaleava here. He ends up transferring there. And there were people at UCLA who were really disappointed to lose Joey Aguilar. Very disappointed. And in doing so, he comes to Tennessee. Vols don't know that much about him. But all of those things that they had seen from the outside were positive, which is why they took a chance on him. It's obviously worked out very well for the Vols. And if you look at where Joey Aguilar was a year ago and where he is today, financially, that he got to be Tennessee's quarterback and play in the Southeastern Conference, that he now probably has a pro future of some sort, it's worked out very well. That's what the players have to think about. So to answer your question, Tim, fully, there's more about it when you dig deeper. The philosophical question of what we have to play for and the literal question of what we have to play for is very different. Hopefully, Tennessee will make the most of this opportunity. That's what we hope. Time for Quinn for the win. We need to get it in here. I want a good Quinn for the win, Andy Brock. Are you ready to give it to me?
JP Estrella and the guys in the paint on Monday night in that win for Tennessee over Mercer, game 1. 44 paint points, but JP had a great night. 12 points, 6 of 10 from the floor. So he did a great job.
Quinn for the win, highlighting a great moment or performance in Tennessee athletics this week. Sarah Detweiler.
Andy kind of stole mine, but I'm going to build off of it. JP had a career high of 12 points. And obviously coming back from the injury, year-long recovery, just really good to see him back out on the floor again.
The segment brought to you by Quinn Appliance, your home for the best selection of GE appliances. Visit their showroom in Alcoa or at QuinnAppliance.com. GE Appliances built for America. Next, Vol for Life, Leanne Morgan, right here in the unnamed studio. Stay with us for the Mike Keith Show, delivered by Uber Eats.
The Mike Keith Show, sponsored by
Pilot, official travel stop of the Vols. See you out here. By Firehouse Subs, home of the hottest subs in Big Orange Country. RJV Kubota, with 2 convenient locations in Knoxville and Nashville. By Hound Dogs, your one-stop shop for all things Big Orange. And by Farm Bureau Insurance. Our agents are there when you need them. Farm Bureau is Tennessee's insurance company and the official insurance of the Vols.
In this town, we don't just root for the team. We are the team. We rise before the sun, stay long after the lights go out. We are Big Orange Country. And with this team stands another, UT Medical Center. We heal the hurt, fuel the comeback, keep Vol Nation stronger, tougher, together, with care that never lets up. UT Medical Center, official healthcare provider of the Vols, and all of Vol Nation.
This season, when the Vols go for it, you can too. It's called 4th Downs for Firehouse Subs. If Tennessee converts on 4th down, you unlock an offer for a free medium sub with the purchase of any medium sub. It's good Sunday through Tuesday after the game in the Firehouse Subs app. So get fired up on 4th down and enjoy hot subs in Big Orange Country at participating Tennessee Firehouse Subs restaurants. See offer details in the app. Like the Diamond Vols, Fox Moving and Storage is moving at a championship level. Whether it's local or long distance, large or small, give one of Tennessee's premier moving companies a call. With offices in Knoxville, Nashville, Chattanooga, and the Tri-Cities, Fox Moving and Storage has you covered across Big Orange Country with experienced, trained professional movers for your home, office, or condo. Get your move on with Fox Moving and Storage, a proud supporter of Tennessee baseball.
Coach Josh Heupel on decision making.
With our offensive play calling, we have to make decisions quickly. But there's one decision I don't have to make: my bank. Instead of choosing between big bank solutions and small bank spirit, I get the best of both with First Horizon.
Big bank muscle, small bank hustle.
For every play in life, there's a bank that has your back. That's First Horizon. Proudly serving Tennesseans for over 160 years.
Vols coaches, insiders, and experts breaking down the weekend action. We are the Vol Network. Delivered by Uber Eats. Mike Keith continues the countdown to Vols action.
This segment of the Mike Keith Show is brought to you by Pilot, the official travel partner of the University of Tennessee. This is another University of Tennessee graduate. I graduated in 1991. She graduated in 1992. This is Leanne Morgan, and I'm so excited to have her here on campus with us again. You finally got a break, and we're able to
tiny break. I go to LA tomorrow, but I'm so tickled to be here.
It's so good to see you.
Thank you for having me, you angel. You have given me street cred.
I've given you street cred with
at
who?
The University of Tennessee. All these people, texting me going, Mike Keith wants you to be the game day picker.
I did. I said that.
And I was on fire. And then I got scared and thought somebody's going to have to coach me because I do love football, but I know more like gossip.
But the thing was
about players.
That week was the week that Leanne got renewed. So you were already okay anyway. You'd already won. I mean, to have Leanne come out on July 31st and then to get renewed on September the 8th, 5 weeks you get renewed? Wow.
Thank you.
Well, and it was that good. I mean, I certainly understand why, but that doesn't always equate in all.
Oh, honey, I did not know that even if something's successful, they won't renew it because of cost. It costs too much. Or there's wonderful series on there that that everybody loved that was in the top 10. So it worried me to death for a month. But I was in the top 10 for 21 days. And I thought, surely we're going to get renewed. And they go, no, not necessarily. But we did, and I'm so thankful.
And it's set in Knoxville. Was that a requirement, or did Chuck Lorre?
Chuck Lorre came up with that.
Okay.
Because he came to visit us in Farragut, where I raised my children for 22 years in the same house. He came and sat and held my grandbabies on the back porch and wanted to see what Knoxville looked like and wanted to meet my family and make sure that, he's worked with some people that have been difficult.
Right.
Mike.
Yes. I mean, he is the king of sitcoms.
King
if you
of
get
sitcoms.
down to, and he's had lots of successes, but obviously the 2.5 Men thing is what jumps out the most. How it ended with Charlie Sheen, and you're not that.
No. The only thing I can complain about, I'll go, we don't use that mayonnaise in the South. We use this one. And I think, am I being difficult? And people go, Lynn, Charlie Sheen threatened to kill him. It'll be okay.
It'll be all right.
If you talk about Dukes.
But like on the walls, you have in the different offices, the scenes, you have the diplomas from the University of Tennessee. I saw you had one from Belmont, actually. You gave Belmont some love. Who comes up with all those touches to...
Honey, it's a set designer.
Sorry.
Isn't she smart?
Yes.
And wasn't that set pretty?
Beautiful.
Okay, because Mike, I've had 4 development deals before that over the years for sitcoms. A lot of people don't know that. And they always wanted to set us in the South like that we were down on our luck, vehicles can't start in the driveway, that kind of thing. And it would always worry me because I married Chuck Morgan. He's driven, anal retentive, University of Tennessee, MBA graduate and undergraduate. And so I didn't want, we haven't, we weren't hoop-de-doo people, but we were doing okay. And I didn't want it, I wanted it to be that and not the lowest common denominator. And that set designer, I said, I love a Southern living home. And I think she did that.
Your sister on the show.
Kristen Johnston. A pro.
A total pro. I mean, she's been great on Third Rock from the Sun. She was obviously most recently on The Righteous Gemstones and was absolutely fantastic, and in between 800 different things. Did the two of you immediately have chemistry?
Mm-hmm. We met at a restaurant with the showrunner. And they said, I was involved in a lot of the casting, but they just said, we want Kristen Johnston. Chuck Lorre says, this is going to be your sister. And I had no say in it. All right, so we go and meet at a restaurant. And I thought, are we going to jive? And we did from the minute that we met. And we became really close. And we're close. We talk all the time. She's filming something in Ireland with Dennis Leary. But we order now the same pants online. We're wearing the same shoes. But I love her. She would bring me lunch every day. She coached me on the lingo because, Mike, it's hard.
Sure.
And I'm a stand-up, and I'd only done one movie, and sitcom is its own thing. And I would go, what does that mean? And she would tell me. She had to do her job and then teach me.
And your movie had come out in January. Will Ferrell, Reese Witherspoon, pretty strong.
You're cordially invited.
You played Gwenny. You do the first scene where they ask you how you're doing. And I didn't think you were acting because I thought you're like, well, I've had this arm thing and they put something out in the backyard and it ain't right. And it's just, we know that person, right? I mean, we've grown up with that person. We know that aunt.
And that's what I was doing.
Did you ad-lib that?
I was channeling, yes.
Okay.
Nick Stoller, there was a script, but he would say, all right, do it again, Lynn, like with another, like riffing. And so I did like 3 or 4, and I based it on people that I know. And I thought, and then I got scared and I thought they're going to know it's them. But the whole bird bath thing.
Oh, gosh.
Chuck Morgan knows I love a bird and has always had feeders for me, and he can plant flowers and the hummingbirds come and all that. And I said, I would like a bird bath. And he got out there, did a bird bath with a big heap of dirt with a border around it, and it looked like a grave. And we didn't want to hurt his feelings. The kids at Mother's Day, they were like, it looks like a grave. It did. Mm-hmm.
That was so great. What was it like working with Will Ferrell?
Oh, every day, Mike. He would walk on that set, not say a word, and we would all just bust out laughing. I mean, just a darling, fun. But this is what I've heard in Hollywood. Whoever's at the top, and he and Reese were executive producers with Nick Stoller, if people are sweet and fun, then it goes well. It's like summer camp. That's what it felt like. And they all said to me, you'll never get this again, Lynn. It's usually there's somebody, that yells and does, but not on this one. We had a ball, and everybody wanted to see everybody win. And they were just very supportive of me. And they knew I'd never done anything before. Reese Witherspoon got me that part. I did a table read in L.A. I'd met her before at an after
she's from Nashville.
CMA.
Yeah.
And she started watching me during COVID. And she would message me and was precious. And I know some of the same people that she knows in Nashville. I know that she's the one that said, we want her to do this for my big sister. So I was working in Pennsylvania somewhere, a casino. And they said, they want you to do a table read. I go, what's a table read? And I got on a plane, on a commercial flight, flew in the night, and the next day did a table read. And I've got a good friend that I went to Joe Burns with. I graduated with like 40 people.
Joe Burns, Red Devils.
Joe Burns, Red Devils. I played basketball, volleyball, and softball. And one of the boys in my class went to Juilliard as an actor who, out of that little bitty country, his daddy was the Methodist minister and they had a dairy farm. And David offered, I called him and I go, what is a table read? And he walked me through it and how to do it. And then I thought, well, there's no way I'm getting this part. And I got it. And I had a ball. And I think my part really wasn't meant to be that big, but they gave me more and more throughout the movie, and it became a bigger part than it was.
You were so great in that.
Thank you.
I thought you stole every scene.
Thank you.
Don't tell Reese. More with Leanne Morgan coming up on the Mike Keith Show, delivered by Uber Eats right after this.
Get game day ready at Hound Dogs, your one-stop shop for all things Big Orange. Locally owned and operated, Hound Dogs has everything Vol fans need, all in one place. Check out the newest polos and pullovers from Hound Dogs' private label, plus their latest in boutique ladies apparel. And don't forget about all the gear from Columbia. If it's orange and white, it's at Hound Dogs. Gear up at Hound Dogs, located on Kingston Pike in West Knoxville, your one-stop shop for all things Big Orange.
It's game day, Vol fans, and you don't want to miss a single play. Uber Eats brings your favorite food right to your door. Wings, pizza, burgers, whatever you're craving, it's just a tap away. Download the Uber Eats app and use code GOBIGORANGE to get $15 off all orders. Uber Eats, proud sponsor of the Vols. Let's eat.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit RJV Kubota locally in Knoxville or Nashville. RJV Kubota, a proud supporter of the Vols.
Whether you're cheering on the Vols at Neyland Stadium, tailgating on campus, or hosting a watch party, you need a beer that will cool you down. Choose Coors Light for a beer as cold as the Rockies. It's cold lagered for a lighter, fresher taste, cold filtered for a brighter appearance, and cold packaged for peak freshness. This fall, reach for the beer that supports the Big Orange. Choose chill, mountain cold refreshment. Coors Light, proud sponsor of the Tennessee Volunteers. Go Vol! Celebrate responsibly. 21 meets 21.
A complete preview of this weekend's action. Mike Keith continues. Delivered by Uber Eats.
Welcome back to the Mike Keith Show, this segment of the program with Leanne Morgan, presented by Food City, the official grocery store of your Tennessee Volunteers. Leanne Morgan has a new Netflix special that has dropped, Unspeakable Things. I mean, all of your specials from your stand-up are amazing. I just wonder, with all you're doing, how long does it take for you to come up with a set for a new stand-up special?
Well, after my first Netflix special that changed my life, I'm Every Woman, I had no idea it was going to do that well. It's still Mike in the top 10 with all these boys like Dave Chappelle and Nate Bargatze, or Nate, Tennessee Nate, which I'm so thankful for, and that changed my life. It changed touring for me, everything. But I've worked in clubs. They put me in Southern California. They said, if it'll work in California, Leanne, and New York, it'll work anywhere. And so I just went deep, like 2 shows a day, one right after another. And I took a notebook up. I had thoughts in my head, and I just thought, let's see, let me get it out of my mouth and see what happens. And I finished it in West Nyack, New York. And then they put me in small theaters, but I felt like I had my hour. And I think maybe I did, one of the first shows I did was Knoxville, here at the Knoxville Civic Coliseum. I did 2 shows, and that was that new material, and that was back in April 2023. So I've been touring on that, honey. And I'm unorganized. That's why it took me a long time to graduate from the University of Tennessee. I dropped out.
Same.
I dropped out, I'd worked, and then I came back and finished, and I'm so thankful I did. But back in the day when I had little children, I would write down, something would come to me, an idea, and I'd write it down on the back of my checkbook, and it would make Chuck Morgan so mad because I didn't balance my checkbook money. But I would have little notes, comedy, and then now I put them in an iPhone. This whole 2 or 3 years shooting a series, touring, because I did over 150 cities, I think. 200 shows, something like that, because they would add them. Sold out shows.
Like what just happened in Boston?
Yeah, I did 3. So I sold 1. So when you sell that quick, they add on more. I just finished up that tour. They do.
They do.
They do. But and as a comedian, we're so thankful somebody cares about us that I'm bad about going, yes, add them on. And then I get there and I think, oh my gosh, it's just going to kill me. But no, it's been wonderful. That tour has been wonderful, and most of it sold out all over the United States. But now, over the last year, I write notes in my phone. They're not on the back of my checkbook. So I write notes down, and so I will start going into clubs while I'm filming in L.A., honey, which is probably going to kill me. But I'll go to Zany some this fall and get on stage, spit some stuff out. I've been trying some of it while at the end of this tour, but I will hone that and work on that, and I'll start touring probably next May or June.
Do you bounce jokes off your kids or Chuck Morgan?
Off my kids, not Chuck Morgan.
You don't bounce jokes off him? Because sometimes he's involved in the jokes.
Yes, that. I do clear with him. Chuck Morgan knows what I'm saying. And he'll say to me, like on this Unspeakable Things, he said, I tell people, I go, everybody asks, does Chuck Morgan get mad at you talking about him? And I go, no. He wants me to talk about him. He'll say, tell him this. And
does he really make suggestions?
And there's a story in there about him getting arrested. And he said, tell him about the time I got arrested. And I said, okay, I will. So all these kids, like they'll say, oh, Mom, you've never told that story. They kind of help me. I'll go, is there anything y'all think of? But then I kind of, come up with not a theme, but, like a beginning, an ending, and a middle and an end.
You have made Chuck Morgan one of the best known names in the country. His name is one of the best known in the entire country. When you say Chuck Morgan, in watching you on Kelly and Mark, he said, I want to meet Chuck Morgan.
Everybody wants to meet him, Mike.
Yes.
I told him, I go, I'm building you a career, Chuck, in show business. Everybody wants to meet Chuck Morgan and my baby child, who is my makeup artist who travels with me.
Who you're trying to fix up with somebody.
Yes. Well, yes, because I feel bad because she's out touring with me, and my tour manager, like we're all like 60, and then this little thing's 27 years old, and she wants to date and marry and have babies, but she's having to tend to her mama.
Well, I mean, I think it's probably going okay.
It is. She was my makeup artist on the series. So Chuck Lorre pushed her through, because that union, honey, you talking about a booger, is get on that thing. It takes 15 years for some people. They pushed her through, and she is my main makeup artist. And then she tours with me.
Everybody on the sitcom is tall. Is that by design?
I don't know. Okay. Ryan Stiles has got to be 6'6".
I love Ryan Stiles.
He's brilliant.
He's a Chuck Lorre guy too. Chuck Lorre's had Ryan Stiles.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy he brings off the bench in every series.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. Is it hard to be mean to him on the show?
Ryan Stiles?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would think it would be because he seems like a nice guy.
He's very nice and sweet, and he's a dad. You know, we've kind of lived parallel lives, except he's been famous for a long time. But isn't he brilliant?
He is.
Because we wanted this character to be redeemable and likable and not just sit and beat up on him all the time.
Because that's no fun.
Yeah, and he really plays that well, doesn't he? And then little Blake Clark that plays my dad.
Yes.
Who's in all the Adam Sandler movies.
All the Adam Sandler. Well, I showed my wife him as Farmer Fran and The Water Boy.
And then Celia Weston plays my mother, who was my mother in the movie.
The movie, yeah. And so you
who is brilliant.
So you had her and Jack McBrayer come from the movie.
Yes.
Was that how you got?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I fell in love
You've
with
got
Jack
got your
McBrayer.
own troupe now. You're like Adam Sandler.
There's so many other people I want to have. They told me they go come up with a list, Lynn, and we'll see if we can work it in for guest stars.
No kidding.
Yeah. And Chuck Morgan said, I want to be in there. I don't want to say anything, but maybe I could be like a plumber that doesn't talk. So I might do that.
That would be awesome.
He's getting the big head, Mike.
It felt that way out in the hall. Is there anything off limits in terms of what you? I mean, I've watched your talk show appearances. I've watched your stand up. I've obviously seen all 16 episodes of Leanne. Is there anything you won't talk about?
No. Now,
have you always been like that?
Yeah.
You've been that.
And see,
are you an oversharer?
I am.
Okay.
And my sister's very private, and Chuck Morgan's private. But now that's gone out the window.
How old is your sister?
She's 3 years older than me.
Okay, so she's older.
And
okay.
she's very, very private. And she would say, you don't need to be saying all that, even before I became a comedian. But I've just always been honest about stuff. I just think I don't know. I just have to be honest about stuff. And I like talking. And I do. And I'll tell you this. I think that I love my degree at the University of Tennessee in Child and Family Studies, Crisis Intervention Counseling, in Human Ecology. So I love studying people. And I love, the cognitive and behavioral and everything from birth to death. And I think in that major, like we would have icebreakers in these classes about, human behavior, human sexuality, relationships, all those kind of things. And I think that helped me too. I'm just open about stuff.
Yeah.
I like to talk about things. If I had not made it in show business, I want to be a child family therapist. So I loved my major. When I went back after, I dropped out and I didn't know I was flailing, Mike. And then I came back and I took it serious and I loved it. I loved everybody over there.
What's your best memories from your time on campus?
I remember falls and how beautiful this campus is. I went to ball games. I didn't get to go to a lot because I was waiting tables and working. My parents paid my tuition and everything, but I had to have my apartment and all that. So I always waited tables, but I would get to go to games every once in a while. And I remember my heart beating out of my body. I mean, I just don't think there's another game. I've been to Titans games, fabulous, all that. But there's just something about a Tennessee ball game in Neyland. So I always loved that, and I went when I could. I just love walking through campus and seeing how pretty and people are sweet. I've always thought Tennessee people were sweet. I love the color of orange. I love smoky. I want a smoky, like a hound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can afford
bagels.
one. Hey, by the way,
I know.
does everybody in your family get Netflix for free?
No.
No.
None of us do. And Mike Birbiglia, I did his podcast the other day, and he goes, do you get? I go, no, I don't. And we all talk about that. The comedians talk about it. We pay for our own. But that's okay, because they've been good to me.
I was going to say, you're ahead. You're net ahead of the...
Ted Sarandos, honey, at Netflix, who owns it, has been wonderful to me.
You deal with him directly?
I see him a lot, and he'll text me, and he'll go, we're doing great, Lynn, like when it first dropped. And then Jerry Seinfeld has been another one that has mentored me and helped me and talked to me about doing this sitcom. And it's really been a big help to me. And
What's his best advice?
He's saying, Lynn, you got to remember, because I was so intimidated, Mike, and I was freaked out, and I had to learn that script every week and all this lingo and camera angles, and, I was freaked out. And he said, remember, Leanne, you need to walk on that set like you're the queen or king every time, because you're the one, and you've got wonderful writers, and he knows all my writers and thinks they're wonderful, and they are, and they're pros. And they've been with Chuck Lorre for years. But he said, you're the one that can get out there and make 2,000 to 10,000 people laugh for an hour and a half. And you got to remember that. Don't get intimidated. You know what's funny. Comedians know what's funny. So he said, when Larry David and I wrote Seinfeld, we had to remind ourselves, like, it's you need to go through there when you get that script, rewrite, go through and say, this isn't funny. This isn't. And see, at first I was so terrified to even do that because I'm a people pleaser, and I'm a Southern woman of a certain age, and I don't want to rock the boat. He said, rock the boat, Lynn. You know what's funny. Take that script every week. If somebody's not naturally funny, kill them off.
Kill them off. Wow.
Because they get actors that are wonderful actors.
Right.
But you don't know if somebody can be naturally funny. You need somebody naturally funny.
Well, like Tim Daly. I mean, he was on Wings, and he was great on Wings with Steven Weber, but he's perfect at his age right now for what the role of Leanne is at that moment. And you wouldn't necessarily think of him as that because he's been dramatic at different
I know, and Madam Secretary.
Right.
But very comedic, timing, perfect. And he taught me a lot too. Precious.
Well, the whole thing about you on that show, which is really amazing, is you clearly know where the camera is. You hit your spots perfectly. You have the rapport with Kristen Johnston and really everybody else. You have different rapports with people, but it's so natural. I wonder, had you acted much
No, I
not like
that
in
one
high
movie.
school or
No. One play at Joe Burns, Little Abner. We had all these wonderful musicians in my class. It was crazy. In Little Adams, Tennessee, all these boys that were very musical. So they would do musicals. And I can't sing. I can dance, Mike, but I can't sing. You and I may have danced together at Gabby's. But anyway, back in the 80s. But
maybe
because I was clubbing. I love Prince and,
who
Annie
didn't?
Lennox. And
Sure.
What in the world was the question? I just
It
got
doesn't
off
matter.
on it.
You're about you did Little Abner in high school.
I had no lines. I gyrated in a bathing suit with pantyhose on. But I thought, in my little country mind, this is the beginning of my show business career. I had no lines. My dad was embarrassed. He was like, you didn't have any lines, you're in a bathing suit. I was like, I'm Marilyn Monroe.
There you go.
I'm headed to Hollywood, Daddy. Yeah. So, no, I didn't have any experience. This is it.
All right. So when do you start shooting season 2 of Leanne?
January through April. We'll probably wrap in May.
And so you're thinking you're coming back next fall?
I wonder if they'll drop it in the summer.
Interesting.
Because they dropped it this summer.
They did drop it in the summer.
And it took
but
us
it's a
7
hit
months.
now, so you wonder, do they want it in the fall more?
Maybe.
Because people, like The Sopranos, people will wait for it.
Oh, yeah. And they've also signed me to a third special, 2027.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've got, this one just dropped, and then I got a 2 special deal. I'll do another one in 2027. And I hope this sitcom goes for a while.
So, Leanne Morgan, Unspeakable Things on Netflix. Leanne, the series, it's been out a while. If you haven't watched it, it's certainly something that you should do. Two more things very quickly. So I heard you say in an interview that you had split up with Chuck Morgan. You were working at the mall, and he came to see you, and that you were able to re-engage him because you had a tan. And Chuck was very interested in the tan. I want to know, were you working at Proffitt's department store?
I was, my darling. Proffitt's, Lancome Counter.
Yes. Nicely
and
done.
he had bought a small little mobile home refurbishing business in Bean Station, Tennessee. And he came back after he had broken up with me and hurt me so bad. And then saw me with a tan. I'd been to Fort Lauderdale. I was a third wheel, but I got a tan.
Proffitt's, yes.
Proffitt's
department store.
It was Miller's before that.
It was Miller's before that. It sure was. And
that was probably
wonderful.
Miller's. That was probably Miller's before it was Proffitt's.
Because I thought you were probably working at Westtown Mall while I was selling shoes there. That was the thought. Because I sold shoes right outside of Proffitt's. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we may know the same people.
We clearly know the same people. Here's the other thing too. I also want to thank you for the conversation that you and Nikki Glazer had about short men and how valuable we are. There are a lot of haters out there right now, especially among comedians. It's very hurtful.
And I don't get it.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
The short kings, is that what you call us?
I've always loved short men.
Well, thank you.
Well, you're
very,
welcome.
very appreciative that you and Nikki were right there together.
Yeah,
in lockstep.
Her boyfriend is a lot shorter than her, and he's cute. Yeah,
he's an attractive man.
Yeah, and not everybody can wear a half zip that is fitted. So good for you.
Well, yeah,
Mike.
but I'm sitting behind this. So
but you look good though.
Well,
honey.
thank you.
You kept your weight down.
I've tried. I'm working on it.
Oh, you look good.
This is her. I mean, that's all I can say. This is her. A Vol for life.
Vol for life.
You see it on her series, Leanne. We're just thrilled that she's here on campus. This is Leanne Morgan, the superstar.
Oh.
We're back with more of the Mike Keith Show right after this.
Fans, make your tailgate party legendary with game day food from Texas Roadhouse, where you'll find hand-cut steaks, fall-off-the-bone ribs, ice-cold beer, and all the fresh-baked bread and peanuts you can eat. Almost everything on the menu at Texas Roadhouse is made from scratch, and a full-time butcher cuts every steak by hand. Make sure to check out their $5 beverage menu available all day, every day. Download the Texas Roadhouse mobile app or visit TexasRoadhouse.com to place your order or join the wait list. Go Vols!
Rackley Roofing is now the official roofer of the Vols, and Rackley is more than a roofing company. They're part of the communities where they work and live, investing in neighborhoods and opening doors to a career in an industry that's growing year after year. Rackley Roofing's mission is clear: transform the roofing industry with unmatched customer service, detailed documentation, and the highest safety standards. Because Rackley believes the ladder to a great roof is only as good as the people who climb it. Rackley Roofing, building roofs, building futures.
Any coach will tell you speed is a huge advantage on the field. It's also a huge advantage online. That's why there's KUB Fiber, the world's fastest internet, right here in Tennessee. Speeds up to 10 gigs per second, a price that won't go up, and a connection so reliable it has 98% customer satisfaction. So whether you're watching the game, streaming the highlights, or railing about a bad call on a message board, you need Vol Nation's fastest, most reliable internet. KUB Fiber.
At the University of Tennessee, the Vols are known for competing at the highest level on the field, the court, and the diamond. And just like the Vols, Food City excels at everything too. They've got in-store butchers carving up certified Angus beef, fresh local produce, a full-service bakery, Fuel Bucks rewards, and one of the best beer and wine selections in town. Food City, the official supermarket of the Vols, and your home for everything Tennessee.
Mike's back with your pregame scouting report, delivered by Uber Eats.
Phillips back on top. Gillespie, Henderson, going to put up a three. Takes it in. I heard him call it.
Sure enough. I guess it's open.
Well, he had to take it because the shot clock was running out. Wouldn't want to follow that in a horse game. Welcome back to the Mike Keith Show, delivered by Uber Eats. It's time for You Make the Call, presented by KUB Fiber, the world's fastest internet and Valdation's favorite way to connect. Have a handsome young gentleman here. What is your name, sir?
Luke Attell.
Luke, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
And
Nice to
what
meet you.
year are you in school?
I'm a junior this year.
You're a junior, and where's home?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Cincinnati, Ohio. And where did you go to high school in the Cincinnati area?
Mason High School, just
Mason
about
High
30
School.
minutes north of Cincinnati.
Okay, I know that area.
Yeah.
A couple of ball players come out of there over the years.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the most famous alum from Mason High School?
Ooh, that's a good question. Most famous alum off the top of my head. Well, I mean, you have one in the back. I don't know if you know, but Michaela Poteet.
Well, there
she's
you go.
a Mason alum,
Okay,
so
you've answered
that's pretty
the
good.
question. She works on our staff and does a great job. So you are here to make the call, and I think you're going to be the first person to do this who does basketball.
Ooh,
are you ready?
I love some
All
ball
right, put
hoops.
on the KUB Fiber headset here.
There we go.
And are you familiar with the clip? Have they told you what you're going to be calling?
Yes, familiar with it. Watched the game.
Oh,
It's pretty
did
exciting.
you go to the game?
I didn't go, but I watched it.
What were you doing?
I was sitting in the script lab editing a little video for Torch Sports.
Oh, you're part of the Torch Sports team.
Mhm.
Outstanding.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, you have an excuse. All right. Luke Attell, you make the call from KUB Fiber. Let's hit it.
Here we go. Phillips has it up top, drops it off to Gillespie, back to Phillips. Gillespie has it top, kicks it out to Henderson. Henderson steps back, banks it home for the three to move the lead to 12, and the team is loving it for the true freshman. Look at that smile on Troy Henderson's face. He is having a great time out there. Replay, step back, and just beauty. Knocks it down as time's expiring. Troy Henderson moves it to 12 for the lead.
That's nicely done. What you seem reticent by your performance.
Yeah, it wasn't as smooth, but I'm not the play-by-play guy,
why
so
did you not
we'll
make
take
it
it.
smooth? I thought you did well. I mean, clearly you're not taking math classes because that actually put us up 22.
Oh,
but that's okay.
Close.
So do you have your math credits already done?
I got those out of the way early.
Thank
I
goodness.
got those out of the way early.
Thank goodness, because you did not retain. But that's okay. Andy, I thought he did a nice job.
Yeah,
He's not a play-by-play guy by trade.
Yeah.
He's a commentator. I've seen his work. He's got some hot takes. He throws out some good stuff. But I thought he did fine.
Thought you were very calm and poised. Would have liked to have maybe the bank shot's pretty rare, right? So maybe like a whoa, like something crazy.
Would you
like
go
that.
whoa? Is that what you would?
That's
use
probably
it?
not what I'd do. But that was just
what
the-
if you're
that is what I
doing the
did
play-by-play, Andy? What would
Oh.
you say?
Oh my gosh, like something like
Oh
that.
my gosh!
Oh my gosh!
Oh yes!
I guess I could have slid in a bank is open there too. That's a
The
common
bank
one.
is
The bank-
open.
that's a
That's
common
right.
one, but-
The bank is open. Sarah,
Look, he's giving himself constructive criticism.
On the air.
Yeah,
Live on the air.
I love it. No, but I also love the look at the smile, because that was a really cool moment for Troy. So that was good.
I don't know about you, but freshman, I'd like to hit a.
well,
buzzer
yeah,
beater
Troy
three.
did it. Hey, listen, I'm telling you. Now, Troy did that because it was a buzzer beater before the shot clock went off. Troy can really shoot. We watched him in warm-ups last night. He came out very early, and he's taken three-pointers. He had like 5 or 6 in a row, and I mean, it's just this smooth every time stroke. I can't wait to see him kind of go through his Tennessee career. He's going to play some this year, but I think he'll play a lot down the line. I'm excited about Troy Henderson.
Isn't that impressive, though? I love basketball, but watching the pregame is some of my favorite times because they're
Now, why
just
do you say
knocking-
that?
They're knocking down shots left and right because there's no pressure, right?
Right.
You're out there warming up, and so it's all casual, and they're hitting everything. So I love watching pregame because it's just guys out there having fun and making threes.
Nice. So that would be your hot take?
What, that I like pregame
It's
more
kind
than
of
the
a
game?
sort of take. That's like a Sarah Detweiler hot take.
Lukewarm, I like to say.
Or her lukewarm takes. All right. Well, good stuff. We appreciate you joining us on the Mike Keith Show. Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me
Follow
on.
this young man on Torch Sports. He and that group do a great job over there. The Mike Keith Show, delivered by Uber Eats. More to come.
The weekend's coming. Time to get ready for Big Orange action. The voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, is here with your weekend scouting report, delivered by Uber Eats.
You're down 9, Jason Swain. You need 2 scores. What do you like to get something fast?
If it's cover 2, you want to hit the seam route. If it's cover 4 or quarters, you want Staley or the slot receiver the back of the end zone on a post route.
3 receivers left. Brazel to the right. Bishop in the backfield. Oklahoma blitzing. Aguilar fires into the end zone. Caught! Matthews! Touchdown! Big Orange! Michael Matthews snatched that out of the air. That was a smoke-filled rocket from Aguilar, and Matthews went and got it.
It's good to have a wide receiver around you in these type of moments, as Jason Swain said. Hit him down the seams for a touchdown. Great diagnosis by Jason right there. Great protection up front to allow Joey to see that route develop right there for a touchdown. Big-time play.
Welcome back to the Mike Keith Show, delivered by Uber Eats. This segment of the program is brought to you by Clayton Homes, Oakwood Homes, and Love Homes of Tennessee, helping families across the state find their dream home. This is Jason Swain of the Vol Radio Network. How are you, sir?
Wonderful.
Yes. Former Vol receiver. You know the background. You understand the resume. And by the way, tremendous call on the Mike Matthews touchdown. You called the play. In the break there, we're on the air, and we asked you, and you called it, and Ramon Foster made sure everybody knew you called it. That was strong.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it was a situation where you need to score quickly. That's a short throw. It's a quick throw. It's an easy throw. And kudos to Mike Matthews for the catch. The protection was great. Great throw by Joey Aguilar. But, yeah, that was fun. I see why you guys have such a good time every Saturday.
Make me understand how Jason Swain didn't end up in coaching. Because, I mean, guys like you, 99% end up in coaching.
Well, when you do everything from high school, college, every day to reach the NFL, to reach that pinnacle, and then you're unable to perform at your best because it's out of your control. In my case was injuries. The moment I walked away from football was the moment that I got opportunities, my biggest opportunity. My position coach, Trooper Taylor, was like, hey, won't you come coach? Won't you come be a GA? I wasn't ready because I needed a break from football. Like, I felt like football failed me because, man, I put everything into it, and I was hurt. I couldn't do the things that I knew I could do, and so I needed a little break from football. I think a lot of guys who go through that, when you're transitioning from football to what's next, you kind of need that break. You kind of need that reset. And I was like, no, not right now. And then my family, I had a young family at the time. My daughter was born in 2008 in May. I finished up around that time, right before that time. And so I was really focused on how I'm going to feed this thing.
Right.
Like, how I'm going to take care of this human being. And I understood, like, the time commitment, being in this building and training and getting your feet wet and learning the ropes of being an assistant coach. And I didn't think that was fair to my young daughter. And I was someone that wasn't raised by my mom or dad. And so I wanted to be to my kid what I didn't have growing up. And so if I didn't have kids, for the first 5 years after playing, I probably would be in coaching and probably still there.
How did you get into media?
Well, that's a great question. So as a player, when I would do player availabilities with the media, I was always someone that just kind of shot it straight and was pretty honest. And so I was a caseworker. I had got my degree in sociology. I was working. I had a caseload of about 25, 30 kids from ages 3 all the way up to 18. And a previous coach around the 2009, 2010 time was here, and I was a guest on a radio show in town, and I was pretty honest and pretty blunt with what I thought was going on. And then like a couple days later, I get a DM from that station's owner, and he was like, "Hey, you want a radio show?" Wow. And I thought I was being punked. Like, where's Ashton Kutcher? Like, he's somewhere around here. Somebody's punking me. And he said, "No, let's meet." And well, that was a small station that was trying to kind of rebrand and revamp. And I was like, "All right, well, cool. What does that mean?" "Well, we give you a show for about an hour." And so I was doing a show from 9 to 10. And I started there, and here I am now.
Why has it been successful for you?
Because I put myself in the shoes of the player. I think a lot of people love to speak for the player, and this was 2009, 2010. Twitter was starting, but it's not as big as it is now, and so people can kind of tell their own story. But I feel like I needed to tell the story of the athlete, what it's like to wake up and not be able to walk on a Monday, not know if you're going to be able to play, and all the things that go into preparing yourself, preparing your body throughout the week to be able to play on Saturday. The emotional hurdles that come being a student athlete. At the end of the day, these guys are human, and they have real lives, and they have real emotions, and things get in the way of your performance. So for me, it was wanting to tell the athlete side of it, but also connect with the fans in a way, because when you played during my time, we were always shielded away from the fans.
Why? Well,
that good old handshake. You didn't want to get that good old handshake and get in trouble by the NCAA. One handshake and get the program in trouble.
Okay.
So there was always that worry, okay, we can't have the players always around the fans. So I didn't really get a chance to really connect with the fans. Ball walk was really the only time. I think we had an event before the season, like a barbecue event, over there at the arena, but that wasn't really it. Doing radio allows me to connect with the fans and hear their side of it, understanding that they spend all this money to travel, hotels, tickets, food, like the sacrifices that they make to be able to support the school they love. I mean, I didn't know that as a player, and being able to learn that and know that now I understand, because we all have skin in the game. It's just different. Players, coaches, fans, we all have skin in the game. It's just different, and it's what makes this place special. Everyone loves it.
When you know as much as you clearly do about the game, is it hard for you to put yourself in the shoes of a fan?
It used to be. It used to be. Because I would learn and understand how they felt. Like, they were upset. Hey, the play wasn't successful, so they're just upset. Well, they may not have known why the play wasn't successful. They may not have known that, hey, it was actually a good call, that it just didn't work out, or maybe it was just a bad call that needs to be better next time. At first, I didn't understand, but now I understand. I understand that they know what they don't know. Some of them do know, and I think what you have now, you have more and more people doing content where they're watching film and they're showing you, they're cutting up videos and telling you what to look for here and there. But no, fans are not supposed to know everything. I mean, they're fans, right? But you try to be patient, understand where they're coming from. I mean, they are invested like the players and coaches. It just looks different. It just looks different. The players and coaches are putting a lot of time into it, but fans, they think about it 24/7 too. I mean, they have been kind of born into it, and so it just looks different. But everyone is invested.
The fans, many of them, look to Jason Swain for an unvarnished truth on things. Not necessarily a hostile criticism or whatever, but for you to break it down, for you to really tell them what's what. Do you feel pressure about that?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, but before I even say anything, I always tell myself, okay, you say it in a way where you can tell it's all love. Because growing up, like, your parents will tell you the truth because they love you, right?
Well, you hope, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't lie to you because, they didn't love you. So that's how I try to approach it. It's out of love. Like, it's not, it's not spiteful. It's out of love. I look at, the players like little brothers. I look at, our coaches. They're trying to win. I mean, they're ultra competitive, and it doesn't always work out. And when it does, great. You tell how it worked out and why it was so special. But there's some times when you have to, criticize and be constructive. But I always do it out of love, man.
So for a guy like who's going to come on in our next segment, Jared Garantano, who started into the same sort of thing you did 15 years ago, he now breaks things down and he talks about it from a quarterback's perspective. What advice would you give him trying to do a form of the media that you've been doing successfully for a long time?
Lead with love. Lead with love. Lead with patience. I was doing media when Jared was here, and I remember his time. And I knew the entire story with Jared, not just one side of it. And it's just really important to understand, like, sometimes the players, they can't control certain scenarios. I mean, Jared had 4 offensive coordinators in 4 years. But, man, he played tough. He left it out there on the line. Be honest. Be yourself. Be authentic. Have patience. Lead with love. Have fun. Say what you're going to do. Do what you're going to say. I mean, just those simple principles, I think he'll be fine, man. That's something I learned from Coach Cutcliffe is say what you mean what you say. And I try to live like that every single day and everything that I do. And because of him, I think I've had a little bit of success in this business.
Why did David Cutcliffe have such a profound impact on you, Jason Swain?
Because he was authentic with me. I mean, after the 2005 season, offensively, we were not good. Our team was not good. I was an up-and-coming senior. I did not want to feel that feeling ever again. And so I remember we didn't go to a bowl game. I went home, and we had a couple of weeks. I just didn't feel comfortable at home. I was there for a couple of days. I came back up here and got to work. And I remember when Coach Cut took over the job, he had not moved in his office yet. And I went to his office. I was like, hey, Coach, introduce myself. What do you need from me? What do you need? He says, nothing. Just say what you mean what you say. That's it, Coach? You don't need me to rally the guys. You don't need me to do catch 100 balls a day. You don't need me to do. He's like, just say what you mean and mean what you say. And I didn't understand what he meant then, but I get it. I get it 100%. And that's why I was fortunate enough to be, named captain my last year by my teammates and coaches, because I live by that. I try to, even to this day.
You and Ramon Foster were both captains.
Yes.
And he takes a lot of pride in that. He's described to me what that means sort of in his football heart. Of all of the accolades he received and the good things that happened to him, that is at the very top.
Yep.
What does being a Vol captain mean to you?
It means everything. Like, I didn't even know when I finished playing that I was top 10 in receptions. I had no clue. But that doesn't rank higher than being a captain, because that means that you're walking the walk, you're talking the talk, you're saying what you mean what you say. Like, you are an example for your peers. And trying to lead your peers is difficult because they look at you as one of them. And so you have to be special. You have to be willing to sacrifice and do things that they're not willing to do. Go to bed early, stay in early, stay late. You have to lead by example. And, man, it's one of the best accomplishments I've ever had. I wasn't a captain in high school. Shouldn't have been a captain in high school. I wasn't mature enough. I wasn't ready to be a captain. But my time here allowed me to grow and learn and mature and find out what it took to lead by example. And I think that's why I have a beautiful family and being able to be pretty successful in this business, either working for someone else or building my own brand, because at the end of the day, it's about relationships. It's about doing people right and saying the right things and saying things that mean exactly what you say and being intentional about what you say. And so I owe a lot of that stuff to David Cutcliffe, man. I love that man.
Me too.
Yeah, he's awesome.
One of the best. Jason Swain, love your work, the Swain event, Josh and Swain on the Sports Animal. Love what you're doing for us on the Vol Network. It's really special to get to know you this season. Hopefully, we got some wins down the stretch.
Let's do it.
Let's do that. We've got more coming up. Jared Garantano will be on the program next. This is the Mike Keith Show, delivered by Uber Eats.
Mike Keith on the Vol Network.
Sponsored by UT Medical Center, the official healthcare provider of the Vols and all of Vol Nation. Fox Moving and Storage, serving Middle and East Tennessee with experienced, trained, professional movers. By Food City, the official supermarket and tailgating headquarters of the Vols. Firehouse Subs, home of the hottest subs in Big Orange Country. And by First Horizon Bank, big bank muscle, small bank hustle.
Hey fans, it's Coach Heupel. In football and in life, some folks just show up. That's Tennessee. They don't call us volunteers for nothing. We're about standing together and doing the right thing, on and off the field. That's exactly how Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee shows up. They're not just from here, they're for here. Built for Tennessee life. Get a free quote at FBITN.com.
This season, when the Vols go for it, you can too. It's called Fourth Downs for Firehouse Subs. If Tennessee converts on fourth down, you unlock an offer for a free medium sub with the purchase of any medium sub. It's good Sunday through Tuesday after the game in the Firehouse Subs app. So get fired up on fourth down and enjoy hot subs in Big Orange Country at participating Tennessee Firehouse Subs restaurants. See offer details in the app. Vol Nation, if you're looking for quality performance apparel, look no further than Turtleson. Founded by UT alumni out of Bristol, Tennessee, Turtleson designs clothes and accessories that fit your lifestyle. From the office to the country club or the Tennessee Volunteers tailgate, Turtleson has the apparel that looks as good as it feels. Ask for Turtleson wherever you buy your volunteer gear or visit Turtleson.com to learn more. Turtleson is a proud sponsor of the Vol Network. Go Vols!
Tennessee first earned the nickname the Volunteer State during the War of 1812, led by General Andrew Jackson. That nickname was further reinforced when Tennesseans took part in the Texas Revolution. When Tennessee's governor called for 2,600 volunteers in 1848, the state sent more than 30,000. Modelo, the mark of a fighter, salutes the spirit and history of the Volunteers. Grab yours and celebrate your own victories. Modelo, brewed for full-time Vol fans. Drink responsibly.
prepping you for game day. Delivered by Uber Eats with Mike Keith.
The Mike Keith Show continues, delivered by Uber Eats. This segment of the program is sponsored by the official bank of the Vols. That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle, small bank hustle. First Horizon. This is Jared Garantano, Vol quarterback from 2016 through 2020, becoming wildly famous and wildly popular on your YouTube channel now.
Yep, just started brand new. Super excited about this whole new chapter and whole new journey in my life, and completely grateful that Vol Nation has been so accepting and with everything that I've been doing.
All right, so tell people, if they subscribe to your YouTube channel, what are they going to see?
Brand new thing, right? So I wanted to kind of be a mediator between the fan and the football player. So I've been basically judging football games, going over the tape, talking about different things, analyzing what our offense is doing against these certain teams after these games. So I've been trying to, in football terms, basically shorten it up for fans to understand what our Tennessee offense is doing, possibly what our quarterback is thinking about during these certain plays, and also what a play caller might be also thinking on the certain down and distance.
That's a real niche that hasn't been there.
Right.
Yeah, so you know that, which is why you did it. I'm sorry.
And that's why
pointing out the obvious.
It's super exciting for me because when I was playing, of course, I didn't feel like there was this type of thing going on. So after football kind of started slowing up, right, some of the NFL stuff started slowing up, I was trying to figure out what's the best way that I can kind of get into this media thing. And I'm looking at the Knoxville kind of area, and I said, you know what, this is going to be the first. So I'm going to attack it and sit there and say, you know what, let's go watch tape. Let's go pretend like we are fans of the game, fans of the team, talk about the different things, the different intricacies of what goes into football and what could possibly be going on every single play or even before the game. So it's been a whirlwind, right? It's been absolutely awesome. It's keeping me involved with Knoxville. It's keeping me involved with the University of Tennessee, and I absolutely love it.
All right, so let's back up just a second. Let's go through your pro football time. You had some time in the NFL, and then you played XFL?
XFL, UFL.
Okay.
So right after the draft happened, I got signed with the Arizona Cardinals. Probably some of the best times of my life. I got the opportunity to be with Kyler Murray and Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy was the greatest teacher, greatest big brother that anybody could absolutely have. I learned so much football from him. Of course, I felt a little annoying, right? Because I'm like the little guy. He's 40 years old, played a long time. And he just said, you know, whatever questions you have, you can follow me around every single day. I'll teach you everything that I know. And I said, dude, I cannot repay you for this. So it was an absolute amazing time. I got the chance to be coached by Cliff Kingsbury as well. A lot of really good guys in that room that taught me a lot of good things. And then, okay, so we went through the preseason. I played really good football, probably some of the best I've ever played. Wind up staying with them a little bit longer, and then I get signed to the Denver Broncos. So I'm with the Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson, Coach Hackett, a lot of really good guys. The offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, Coach Kubiak, is there right now. Coach Gary Kubiak, his son, Clint's awesome. So I was able to be there, signed a 2-year deal at the end of the year. I thought everything was going to be really good, had some stability. Unfortunately, that staff had got fired, so it was a whole new thing with me going into that offseason. But the NFL was such a journey. It was so awesome being able to be around such really good offensive minds and learning that type of stuff. And I feel like at the end of the day, I went through all of the stuff that I did with all those coordinators and all those different types of offenses so that I can provide for the fans, provide my knowledge to other people that might be wondering.
All right. You did something that I think was courageous, though, when you made the decision to go into this media, and that is to re-engage the Tennessee fans. Because we know with how this transfer world works, generally you are considered to be from the last place you went to school. You went to Washington State, and people certainly didn't forget that you played in over 40 games here. You started over 30 games here. You threw for over 6,000 yards, but you finished somewhere else. And yet you said, I want to be back in this family. This is who I am. I gave my blood, sweat, and tears to be part of this. And not sort of knowing how they would respond, and they've responded beautifully.
Right, and it was such a different time for me, right? I had decided to go to Washington State. I think it was for the better for both sides. I think for Tennessee as well as me. I think I needed to kind of get away. I think they needed to get away from me a little bit. But nothing that's ever changed or wavered for me is I always bled orange. And orange was always in my heart. And even coming back here for the second time in this many years, it just makes me come to tears because it's something that I've always loved. So when I was thinking about going into this media thing, there wasn't really any question, right? Like, I just knew that Tennessee was my home. And I thought that if I was able just to engage and sit there and say you know what, I'm coming to you guys as the same kid that committed to you guys however many years ago, and that love is still there. And they've just been so accepting of it. I cannot thank them enough for what they have done for me, accepting me. I've always felt like I was a VFL because of all the things that I went through, injuries, blood, sweat, and tears, all the trials and tribulations, all that stuff. I always felt like it in my heart. I just wanted to make sure that they understood how much I really loved and cared about them as well.
And they certainly opened their hearts.
Oh, absolutely. They have been so welcoming. And even today, just our little walk, we did a 5-minute walk over here. It's just so many high fives and hugs and stops and pictures. It's just like, there's a reason that I came to this school, right? And as soon as I step foot back in Tennessee, it just crosses my mind, and I just feel like that 16-year-old kid again, right back for the first time. It doesn't surprise me why I did, and the amazing fans just make it so much easier for that.
All right, so let's back up a little bit more even. Bergen Catholic to come here to play for Butch Jones, who coached your dad at Rutgers, right?
Right.
Okay. So you come here, you redshirt, and then in 17, you eventually become the guy who's the quarterback at Tennessee. Butch Jones is let go.
Right.
Did you consider leaving after that?
My journey was such a weird and different journey, right? So even before all of that, I was deciding what college I wanted to go to. It was Ohio State. It was Oklahoma. I was here. I loved Alabama at that time too. I loved the thought of it because they were winning. Oklahoma, I was super close with Coach Heupel at that time. He was the offensive coordinator, and we had a great relationship. Unfortunately, at that time, it was the end of Bob Stoops' era, so we didn't really know what was going to go on there, and I was that close from playing for Coach Heupel because that was really the main edge that they had over a lot of people, right? So it was crazy. And so that winded up just kind of disengaging because Coach Stoops didn't know his next step. And then it was Ohio State towards the tail end. Alabama had a bunch of quarterbacks at that time. It was Ohio State in here. And I just felt like I knew that this was home for me. So I fast forward, right? We go through the redshirt year, a lot of great memories from that, learning from Josh Dobbs, learning from a bunch of the older guys, Reeves Mabe and Cam Sutton. They had such legends on that team. So then my first year starting, it was ups and downs, right? We lost a lot of one-possession games, which were really tough, right? Like you can't even make it up, some of the things that happened at the end of the game. That record could have been significantly different, 4 games, right? You flip-flop those 4 games into wins, who knows what happens. But at that time, then we decide that Coach Butch Jones is going to be let go. A lot of frenzy in the locker room, right? We don't know what to do. What's different than this time than then was practically because we didn't have the transfer rule, right? So if you transferred, you would have to sit a numerous amount of games or whatever it was. So it wasn't like a lot of guys were transferring it at that time. So at that time, I didn't feel like it was the best thing for me personally, but I also felt like at that time, this university needed a quarterback. So I didn't think that it was the right thing for me to let go and just go off to the sunset because I just always felt that love and compassion with this place that I didn't really view myself going anywhere else as soon as I got here. I just felt like this was the spot for me. And then we went along the journey with all different offensive coordinators. We got Coach Pruitt signed to over here. So it was just a little bit of a different spot for me, ups and downs wise. But my decision, I'm happy that I stayed. I would not change anything that I did for anything in the world.
Interesting. Because, you saw some tough stuff. 18 wasn't easy. 19 kind of got it going.
Right.
Won the bowl game, and everybody's thinking this is going to happen. And then the COVID thing hits in 20. There was a lot of feeling that Tennessee maybe thought we were not going to play.
Yeah.
And there were several schools that there was a thought we were not going to play in 2020. Did you feel like we were going to play as a conference, as a university? Where were you and kind of what all went on with that?
That was such a tough year, right? We talked about 2018. We had a lot of really great moments. We had some unfortunate things happen. I was banged up a lot that year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff going on. Then 2019, we didn't start off too hot. A lot of things going on that year as well, but we were able to kind of turn it around. And then 2020, we had no idea going in, right? We knew that we had a young team, right? We had a lot of young players on that team. We knew that we got sent home from spring ball, so that kind of got eliminated, right? And this happened with everybody. So at that point, it's just like everybody's kind of playing at that same edge. Some schools had different things going on where they were able to practice, some weren't. Us, unfortunately, we went away for the all spring ball, went away for a majority of all the summertime, and then we had the protocols, we had these things. That was such a weird year in time, right? Whether it was guys going contact tracing, whether it was guys having COVID, you had to play with a lot of depth. Unfortunately, I felt like we didn't have that depth, and we were very young at that point. And then we went and we started the year off really well. I think we were 2-0 or 3-0. We went to Georgia, winning at halftime, and unfortunately, that second half they whooped our butts. And just from that standpoint, right then and there, I don't know what had transpired. I think it was a lot of COVID stuff. Unfortunately, we weren't able to win much more games after that. it was kind of similar to, I would say, like the Penn State this year with losing to Oregon at their place. I feel like that was such a detrimental loss for them that the team kind of just started to spiral. That's how I view my time in 2020, just with all that stuff as well. But we didn't think we were going to play. We were happy that we absolutely had the chance to, of course, because we love the game and we love our university. So that was a plus for us. It was just very tough dealing with all that stuff and also playing football at that time.
You're 27 next week. I mean, you're still very, very young. You've seen and been through a lot of stuff. What would nearly 27-year-old Jared Garantano tell 16-year-old, nearly 17-year-old Jared Garantano? What would you say to him about what's to come and what you're going to go through and what you're going to learn?
I think, I don't think, I know 16-year-old Jared had every single plan written down, knew exactly how it was going to unfold, knew exactly what college, where he was going to play, who he was going to beat, where he was going to get drafted, right? It was just scripted. Like, I knew it, right? It was just, this was destined. And I kind of let everything else, the outside factors, just dictate who I was as a person, right? And unfortunately, when you are that big-time quarterback recruit, you're the big-time quarterback, you're viewed in the eyes of lenses of different people a certain way. That kind of gets to you and you kind of lose your own self. You lose your own way. So if I could go back, I would just tell him to take a deep breath, continue to be yourself, worry about the things that are in-house more so than the things that are out-house. So control the controllables, basically. And listen, just live each moment like it's meant to be lived, right? So I always felt like I was looking forward, and I thought that was what made me great at that time too, right? I was always working for something. I was always working to be that high recruit. I was always working to be that Tennessee starting quarterback. I was working to be whatever it was, PFF, Player of the Week, PFF, you know what I mean? Third team all. I was working for that always, like in my back of my mind. That's what I was, but I lost track of who I was internally and who I was as a person. I wanted to continue to develop as that football player, but I let those outside factors change me. So I would just say, just to continue, just to be yourself, rely on God, and just breathe. Like, things will come to you that need to come to you, and whatever doesn't. I just try to force, I feel like, at a young age. And as an older guy looking at that, I want to facepalm myself so many times because I'm like, oh, what was I? I was just such a dumb kid, but that's
I have a picture of the two of us. They were nice enough to ask me to come do the signing day show in 2017. And I have a picture of us doing an interview, and it's nearly 9 years old. And I love this picture so much. And the thing that I always liked is I loved you represented my university. After that experience that I had with you, I was with you. So don't be too hard on yourself for being younger, because you were and still are a really good guy. But at the same time, it seems like there's an incredible value you've gotten out of this that most people who are nearly 27 don't have. And so when you see these guys who want to transfer after 1 year and who want to run, say, this is just not working, so I'm going to leave now. Do you just want to shake them a little bit?
I'd say that adversity was the best thing that I've ever faced. Like, being able to sit there and go through everything that I went through. I don't know if I would be sitting here with you right now. I don't know if I would be the person that I am right now. I don't know if I would be the brother, best friend, cousin, father, whatever it was. Like, I don't know if I would be that. And I'm so thankful for all those opportunities, even if they were bad. I'm so thankful because it allowed me to look myself in the mirror and become that person that I am today. Without those things happening, I wouldn't be. And of course, everybody's like, I always get the questions, right? How do you think you would do in Coach Heupel's offense? How would you do?
Great.
I would. I dream about it. I daydream about it.
You and Heath Schuler both say the same thing. Oh, let us play in this offense.
Oh, I mess with my parents all the time. Like, you couldn't have me like 3-4 years later, like, you know. But I look back and everything that happened for such a reason. And I'm so happy that Coach Heupel's here right now because these guys deserve it. And my ex-teammates that I was with that actually stayed through that process and stayed here, they deserved it. I love seeing the smiles on their faces and them winning the big games. That meant more to me than me winning them. So I just feel like God does things for a certain reason. And I think that the reason for me staying was just more valuable than at that time for me right now. You know, so all these things that have happened, it's happened so perfectly. And of course, when they were happening, I didn't understand it. I was like, why is this happening right now? Why me? What is going on? Like, why can't we do this? It all makes so much sense now.
What's next on this journey if if your plans do go as you hope on the media journey, what do you want to see next? What do you want to do next?
All this stuff has happened so fast.
Yeah.
Right. It's so like, it feels like it's almost accelerated. And I tell my parents all the time, like, it's so amazing for me because I could not have thought that this would ever happen like this. But I always had this dream, and beginning of the year, I wrote down kind of a list and a bucket list of things I wanted to get closer to accomplishing. So just being able to call a game or being able to sit there and say, I want to be on SEC Network. I have literally on my phone a picture of the SEC Network just because I want to foreshadow that into happening. I want to be able to talk college football, talk about what quarterbacks are doing super well. So as I continue getting along this journey, I want to get better myself, just like anybody. I want to keep critiquing what I can do better, keep looking at other guys, seeing what they do best in their games. But I want to also get to that standpoint where I feel like I'm at the top of mine. So I'm going to keep working, right? I got to get a lot more reps, but those are the certain things that I envision for myself.
You're always welcome around here. You know that.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So happy for you. This is just such a good next part. Not the end of the story. Next part of the story for Jared Garantano.
Absolutely. No.
Great job.
It's amazing. Thank you so much, brother.
We have more of the show coming up. Stay tuned.
It's game day, Vol fans, and you don't want to miss a single play. Uber Eats brings your favorite food right to your door. Wings, pizza, burgers, whatever you're craving, it's just a tap away. Download the Uber Eats app and use code GOBIGORANGE to get $15 off all orders. Uber Eats, proud sponsor of the Vols. Let's eat.
A farm, a family, and a tradition of premium fresh sausage that's lasted almost a century. Using only the freshest ingredients and finest cuts of meat for flavor that is locked in instantly. Each bite of Swaggerty's Farm sausage transports you back to a warm, cozy southern kitchen, leaving you satisfied and ready to take on the day. Swaggerty's Farm, quite possibly the best tasting sausage in America. Now available at your local retailers.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit RJV Kubota locally in Knoxville or Nashville. RJV Kubota, a proud supporter of the Vols.
Vol fans, it's Coach Heupel. One thing that makes college football so exciting is the way one drive can change the course of the whole game. The team at Pilot knows all about the difference a drive can make. They're out here on the road day and night to keep you fueled up, filled up, and fired up, so you can make the most of every drive. That's why Pilot is the official travel stop of the Vols. From tailgates to away games, Pilot's got your back anytime you hit the highway. See you out here.
Across Big Orange Country, fall weekend begins here. Mike Keith, delivered by Uber Eats.
We continue with the Mike Keith Show, delivered by Uber Eats. It's time for our newest feature, the Heavy Lift, presented by Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness Black Card, only $24.99 per month. We're all strong on this planet. Join today. See Home Club for details. Andy Brock, give me a heavy lift for the Vols.
The thing that jumps out was 19 turnovers for Tennessee's men's basketball team in their first game against Mercer on Monday.
It's good. Can you top that?
More generally speaking, for the Lady Vols, they have some really big opponents on their schedule.
They do.
Yeah, and they're on the road too.
Right.
So big heavy lifts coming up for them this season.
Did they have a different start than the men? The men in Game 6 really ramp up dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
The women start from the jump. It's an interesting scheduling strategy by Kim Caldwell on that. I think it's a good point. Their task, starting off with NC State and then moving forward, even some of the games that you think they should win are on the road. So they're challenging this team right away. And Andy, I think what it comes down to is that's how she's she's going to try to get them ready to play in the Southeastern Conference.
With how good the SEC is normally, but then especially this year and how competitive it is, and it's the Lady Vols. They're used to playing the best of the best because they are the best of the best. That's what you do, right?
I mean, historically, that's been the case. I mean, Pat went and played anybody, anywhere, anytime, any place. I went and did a game with her one time at Northern Illinois.
Really?
Oh.
And I was filling in for Bob and did that game. And you're like, why is she playing at Northern Illinois? And they were good. But the main thing that was really interesting about them is their gym was crazy. Crazy.
Like fan crazy?
Fan crazy, hot.
Wow.
It was almost like you were thrown into a phone booth to play an opponent that could compete with you, that would sort of give you some trouble. And they won, and it ended up being convincing at the end, but it was exactly what you thought. It went down, they were only up a few points early, and then by the end they were up maybe 20, but they had to fight to get it there. So this team was not a walkover, and I mean, people were like right on you. Mm. She looked for everything that way. She looked for every bit of it. It's just like what we said earlier about going to Florida on November 22nd. No matter what kind of team Florida has in football, a win at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium is a great thing because that's a hard place to win. That's a hard place to play. For these players that'll be back in Tennessee football, if they can go get a win there, that will carry over somewhere down the line. And that's what Kim Caldwell is trying to do with this Lady Vols basketball team. We got more of the Mike Keith Show coming up. Stay with us.
Your weekend scouting report with Mike Keith.
Sponsored by First Horizon Bank. Big Bank Solutions, Small Bank Spirit, the official bank of the Vols. Pilot, official travel stop of the Vols. See you out here. Swaggerty's Farm Sausage, quite possibly the best tasting sausage in America. By the Tennessee Fund. Join the My All campaign today. IWillGiveMyAll.com. And by Food City, the official supermarket and tailgating headquarters of the Vols.
From the practice field to the fourth quarter, our attitude is always the same. Confidence and commitment can turn your dreams into reality. Where there's a dream, there's a way. And that's First Horizon's philosophy. Big bank muscle, small bank hustle. Over 160 years of banking based right here in the Volunteer State. It's no wonder First Horizon is the official bank of Tennessee Athletics.
Offense wins games, defense wins championships, and KUB Fiber wins the award for Best Internet in Big Orange Country. Speeds up to 10 gigs per second, a price that doesn't go up every month, no hidden fees, and 98% customer satisfaction. That means that out of 100 people, 98 were extremely happy, and 2 people were not. Must be Florida fans. KUB Fiber, Vol Nation's favorite internet. Get it at KUBFiber.com.
Fans, make your tailgate party legendary with game day food from Texas Roadhouse, where you'll find hand-cut steaks, fall-off-the-bone ribs, ice-cold beer, and all the fresh-baked bread and peanuts you can eat. Almost everything on the menu at Texas Roadhouse is made from scratch, and a full-time butcher cuts every steak by hand. Make sure to check out their $5 beverage menu available all day, every day. Download the Texas Roadhouse mobile app or visit TexasRoadhouse.com to place your order or join the wait list. Go Vols!
Whether you're tailgating outside Neyland or singing along to Rocky Top in the stands, nothing goes better with UT Game Day than Truly Hard Seltzer. With endless variety and delicious flavor, Truly has you covered from the first step of the Vol walk to the last play of the game. Grab a drink, put on your orange and white, and have yourself a day with Truly, proud sponsor of Tennessee football. Truly Hard Seltzer. Do it for the flavor. Please drink responsibly.
Before the game, the final scouting report with Mike Keith, delivered by Uber Eats.
Welcome back to the Mike Keith Show, delivered by Uber Eats. I have 2 men here to confirm the Neyland effect is real. This is Greg Snyder. Welcome, Greg.
Thanks.
This is Jake Bender. Welcome, Jake.
Hello.
Okay, so technically you're both geologists?
That's right.
Okay, let's discuss how this happened. This is fascinating. So Tennessee beats Alabama 52-49 in October of 2022. And they talk about the Neyland effect. And we talk about the ground shaking and everything rumbling and all moving. On that day, when Tennessee won that football game, the earth literally did move.
Absolutely.
How did you know this?
Well, we have a seismometer in the basement of our building that's been there since, I don't know, for 3 or 4 years prior to that.
Yeah.
And it just keeps recording all the time, 24/7. And so Jake actually went down there and said, I wonder if that actually, showed up on the seismometer. And sure enough, there's a big spike of several different plays during the game. When the goalpost came down during the game, all these are spikes that are showing up on the seismometer.
And are you monitoring this in game?
No, we didn't know.
At the time, we didn't know.
No.
This was a post-game inspection of the data, just because it was such a big event.
The issue, though, Jake, to me, is we sit in the East Tennessee seismic zone. Yeah. This is a place, East Tennessee, all the way I've been in minor earthquakes in Knoxville, in Chattanooga. I was in one morning. We get these all the time. How could you tell it wasn't just an earthquake that we get occasionally around here, as opposed to what happened at Neyland Stadium?
Yeah, so what we call fan quakes, which is what we generate in Neyland Stadium, have a different seismic signature than an earthquake.
Okay.
An earthquake, when it comes along, you can see it hits like a freight train, and the amplitude of the energy wave that comes through the ground is huge. Fan quakes, on the other hand, are more spread out over time, and you can see they gradually build to a crescendo, so to speak, and then they gradually diminish. So you can tell the difference between a real earthquake and a fan quake.
So we're talking about the Neyland effect. This segment of the show presented by our friends at CertaPro Painters of East Tennessee, great sponsors of the Vols. So you decided to put a seismometer in Neyland Stadium.
Right.
How did this come about, and how did you get athletics to go along with it?
Well, it's actually the other way around. Athletics,
Really?
they contacted us and said, hey, we've been doing a little research, and we've heard about in LSU, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, they did this, and Ohio State did this. And it originally started apparently with a professional game in Seattle where seismometers had been set up. And so they said, would you all be interested? First of all, do you have a seismometer? We said, yeah, we do.
How big is a seismometer?
The one we have is about this big.
And where do you get a seismometer?
You can buy one on the internet.
From like Amazon?
Yeah. These are manufactured to extreme quality standards. It's not the kind the government would use, which have a different type of standard applied to them, but it's the kind that just any institution can buy and install just about anywhere they want.
They sort of contacted us. We had a meeting over the summer. They said, we'd like to install this. So towards the end of the summer, we installed it. We were trying to figure out where the best place to put this would be, and we decided that probably under the student section, get the most shaking.
Okay.
So at about at the 50-yard line, under the student section is where we actually placed the seismometer. And we started with the ETSU game was the first game where we actually got some readings.
And so you're in the control room.
That's right.
And that's in the facility we're in now.
Yeah, across the street from Thompson Bowling.
Right, in the Ray and Lucy Hand Broadcast Center.
That's correct.
And so you're in there with the Jumbotron crew during the game. You have a game day responsibility.
Yes, I have an official game day responsibility.
Out of way.
I've got my laptop hooked up to the control room system, and Carter Mills, who's responsible for calling the shots on the big board game, who is amazing at his job. He watches on the monitor or tries to watch when the seismometer is really popping off and responding. But if not, I'm supposed to yell out seismo every time I hear this going off. And Carter hears that in his headset, and he has a choice to make. You know, does he pull the seismometer up on the screen, or does he go with the decibel meter or something else?
So no offense, but in my job, I can't watch the big board.
Yeah.
So when you yell seismo, and do you is it a call? Is it like kind of what I do when the quarterback gets sacked? Have you mastered have you really put yourself into it?
It's this seismo. That's it. That's all I've got. Maybe you need to
Shouldn't you go a
tutor me
little
on
bigger?
this. Yeah. I should yell a little louder.
Seismo.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot you could do with Seismo. I would give anything to have Seismo. But when he does that, something goes up on the board and it shows the crowd.
Yeah, so what the crowd is looking at is the up and down response of the instrument that's inside the seismometer. It's like a little barrel-shaped instrument that bounces up and down, literally bounces up and down. Every time it does that, it makes contact with the electronics on the board in the seismometer, and it counts how many times it bounces up and down. And so what we're looking for there is how big the wave is and how many waves within a certain amount of time occur. And that gives us the magnitude number that the people see on the big board.
I don't know which one of you said it, but I'm going to give Greg a chance to comment it. Vol fans broke the math.
Well, it's just the way that the seismograph works in terms of the seismometer and where it presents. And Jake can probably speak to that better than I can because he's actually the one that actually developed the math for this.
So we're using the math that OSU developed for their FanQuake experiments back in 2016, just so that we could compare our numbers to theirs. And so far, we're beating the pants off of them. But the math involves finding that peak amplitude over a certain interval or window of time. And every time we set that limit to shorter and shorter, Vols fans still break the math and end up coming back with magnitudes that are like 8 and above in certain instances. And this means that people are doing a lot of movement. Over 100,000 people doing that much movement in a stadium really makes unreasonable magnitudes occur in our math. And that's what we mean by breaking the math.
Since we are breaking the math and we're actually extending beyond what OSU is, I think we should start calling these Volquakes.
Volquakes?
Yes, not FanQuakes, but Volquakes. Because
they're special. They're different.
We are above everybody else on this.
Yeah.
So where are you during the games?
I'm actually on the opposing sidelines. I'm just below where the student section is.
Okay.
And it's been fascinating because I can feel, and I'll actually text Jake, would y'all get on this one, And he said, yeah, we're thinking about putting this one up. The most powerful ones I've seen the 3 times we've done this is what they call swag surfing.
Yes.
They play that song because all of the students link arms and they start moving. And when they start moving, the seismometer starts moving. And then when they really get going, oh man, it's just amazing. You can feel it, and he can actually register it on the seismometer.
Yeah, those are the events that make the biggest magnitude response on our instrument is when everybody's moving in unison. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
How much fun are you guys having doing this?
Well, it's been a lot of fun to partner with athletics to begin with. Those are all great people.
Absolutely.
And then just being able to be in the game day situation, bringing science to game day is super cool. And we really appreciate the educational aspect. We're both teachers at heart. And so we want to get out some of these points that we make in class about the region, like the East Tennessee Seismic Zone, get that message out to everybody who lives here.
I'm having a great time. The only thing I would say is that I'm on the opposing side.
Okay.
So I'm behind, and I didn't realize how big these guys were really. I can't see through them. So I can't really see. I have to look up on the big board and kind of see what's going on. But I get to see when those Volquakes occur. So I get to actually pick that up also.
Big football fans?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Always followed it? Where did you do your undergrad?
I did my undergraduate at UT Chattanooga.
Okay.
And then I went to Colorado School of Mines for a PhD.
Yes.
Good football school.
That's a great school,
but
though.
not the same level as obviously UT.
The Colorado School of Mines is people don't know that, but that's an outstanding school. So
it is, and the football team has been really good too. It's played the national championship, I think 2 out of the last 4 years, something like that. So they've done well.
And you, Jake?
I did my undergrad at a small Division III school in eastern Iowa.
What's the name?
Cornell College.
Cornell College?
Yeah. But then I did my grad school at the University of Utah.
Okay.
Salt Lake City, yeah.
All right, beautiful place.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So what we're here to say is the Neyland effect.
Yes.
That we like to talk about, that Josh Heupel likes to talk about, that the fan base takes pride in. It's real. Science proves it's real.
Science proves it's real. I mean, we already had the decibel meter telling us it's real, but this adds weight to that. In fact, I'll point out that there are times when we see the decibel meter reaching 122, which is massive for a sound wave. When that decibel meter reaches 122, oftentimes there is no seismic response. What adds the seismic response is people moving on these big plays, big third downs, people getting really jacked up about that, big interceptions, big touchdowns. And that's when people move. So it's not just the sound they're making, right? It's the seismic event they're making by moving. And that's what we'd like to see more of in these events. Is
Absolutely.
People seeing that on the big board, able to interact with the seismic wave in real time and make it bigger.
Well, especially when Vanderbilt comes in here for the
It's
finale.
going to be a big game. Going to be a big game.
Need to be moving around.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, Greg Snyder, Jake Seismo Benner. You got a nickname.
There you go. Fine. I'll take it.
Yeah. Seismo.
I'll get it put on the back of my
What you should have it on your Ghostbusters jacket.
Yeah.
You should have it on the patch. Seismo.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I love it.
Yeah.
You guys are great. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Mike.
This is
Thank
fun.
you.
The Mike Keith Show, delivered every week by our friends at Uber Eats.
Mike Keith talks Big Orange sports right here every week, getting you ready for game day.
Presented by Uber Eats.
Download the show at utsports.com. Mike Keith. We are the Vol Network.